Let's talk about Bill and Ted Face the Music, bro. So this movie starts out uh, Bill and Ted's daughters telling the story of their dads, and it catches you up on what happened between Bogus Journey and where we are now. And essentially, Wild Stallion saw some success as a band, but as most bands do over time, their success waned and their popularity waned, and uh, it got to a point where people just didn't care. And now Bill and Ted are playing at weddings and any show that they can get. And so it sets up where they've been, the failures that they've endured, and tells you that, the thing that they're supposed to do, they haven't done it yet. And so then the first time we see them, they're playing at the wedding, and they play an amazing song. It's hilarious, and it's honestly impressive. Like, it's very cool. And they make the comment, we don't know if this is going to be the song that saves the universe and unites mankind, but we think it might be. And like, they have no idea when this thing that's supposed to happen, when it's going to happen. And so they've written every song with that expectation on them, like, maybe this is it, maybe this is the song. And after the performance and everything, Ted's dad yelling at him, and when are you going to get real jobs? And then, like, it's at this moment that, like, it really resonated with me, like the heaviness that they gotta feel, because Ted's like, Dad, we can't stop, we've got to write this song, we've got to do this, they told us that we would do this. And you just feel the burden that they've carried on themselves to do this, like, impossible task for the last 25 years, man. And it's just like it became, I don't know why, but it became very relatable to me at that moment. And I was just like, dang, that's heavy. And so you learn that this is kind of like impacting their marriage, and like the counseling scene is hilarious. Like, everything in this movie is so funny. Like, there's so many sequels out there that 20, 30 years later they make a sequel to a popular movie, and there's so many of them that just kind of like miss the mark. Like, it's this doesn't feel the same. And it's like, but this is like, it's Bill and Ted, man. And it's so well done. And like, the movie's just, everything's going so great, and like, there's so many awesome things that happen in it. uh every like the alternate, so Ted has a discussion with Bill and says, I'm tired, man, like, we've been doing this for so long, I think it might be time that I stop. And it's like this very real moment for Bill and Ted, where Ted's like, maybe this is the thing to do. And it's like, it's impacting their marriage. And he's like, Ted tells Bill, this is causing the problems in our marriage. And Bill's like, but this is also the solution. And he's like, you're right, man. And they're just like caught between a rock and a hard place, because they keep pushing themselves to do this impossible thing. and they keep failing at it. And then that's when Rufus's daughter shows up and takes them into the future, and they learn that they gotta perform the song by 7:17 tonight, or else all of reality is destroyed. And so they set out on the quest to go meet future versions of themselves to steal the song from themselves after a point in time where they've written the song. And those are all hilarious. They're awesome. And it's just, it's so funny, man. And it's so well done. And so while they're out on this adventure going forward in time to try to find the song from themselves, their daughters go back in time to put together a band for them to play their song, and freaking Hendrix is in the band and like all this stuff, and like, you really want Eddie Van Halen to be in there, but I'm sure that they didn't want to cast somebody as Eddie Van Halen with Eddie Van Halen still being alive, but dealing with cancer right now. So I'm sure that's why Eddie Van Halen's not in this movie, but it would have been awesome to have Eddie Van Halen be in Wild Stallions, like they always wanted. It'd be pretty cool. But so like, as a fan, as a person that loves Bill and Ted and like has such a heart for these characters, there's moments in this movie that's just like amazing. Like when they're in hell, a robot gets sent from the future to kill them, and it winds up killing their daughters, Ted's dad, and all these historical figures, and they get sent to hell. So Bill and Ted kill themselves to go to hell and get them back. And they don't know that Ted's dad's dead, and they see Ted's dad in there, and Ted's dad tells them, "Son, I should have believed you. The fact that I'm here, that we're here, tells me that what you experienced was real, and I'm sorry that I gave you so much crap all your life about it when I should have been trying to help you instead." And you see like Ted and his dad like reconcile their relationship, and it's just a really quick thing, but it's a very touching moment, and it's just like, it's something that I'm sure Ted has wanted all of his life. And so as good as this movie is, and is like, as there are parts of this movie that's like really deep, because Bill and Ted meet their future selves on their deathbeds, essentially, and they kind of like have a discussion with themselves, and old Bill tells young Bill, "I'm sorry for all the times I let you down, man," and young Bill's like, "You never did, dude." And Ted admits to his older self that he never really got to be himself, really. And Ted's like, "That's my fault," and like, it deals a lot with like forgiving yourself for things that you've allowed to happen in your life that probably shouldn't have happened, but it's how you've lived, and it's like it's like about forgiving yourself and stuff like that, and letting go of the past when things didn't go your way. And it's a heartwarming story. It is hilarious. It's very well done, and I've never been more conflicted about a movie in my life. Like when I saw Last Jedi, okay? When Force Awakens came out, I was still on the fence about Disney Star Wars because for me, it all depended on how they handled Luke Skywalker. And then Last Jedi came out, and I've never been more disappointed when I walked out of a theater in my life, dude. Like, I was just like, I did not like that. And now I don't even like. For me, Return of the Jedi is the last Star Wars movie. I don't count the Disney trilogy in my own personal Star Wars canon. I just don't. As much as I tried, I gave Last Jedi a shot. I gave the Disney stuff a shot. As much as I tried to do that, I have tried so much harder with Bill and Ted to like this movie, because in the last 5 minutes of the movie, they're at the point in time where they're at the place where they're going to play the song, but they don't have the song, and they tell their daughters, "We don't have the song," and their daughters are like, "We tried to help you with that. We really wanted to help you with that," and then they have the revelation.
Dude, you seeing what I'm seeing? Preston? Logan? Preston Logan. Whoa.
What is it, Dad?
It's you.
What?
It was you the whole time. We just didn't see it.
We can't write music. Whatever. We just listen to stuff and things we like. We just kind of put stuff together.
Yeah, maybe you just listen a little. Make things you like.
And put it all together.
Girls, you're not here to back us.
We're here to back you.
We're your band.
What the heck, dude? It's freaking always been Bill and Ted. It's freaking called Bill and Ted, man. And you freaking say that it's been the daughters the whole time? Dude, why? Dude, why do that? I have such a problem with it. And I'm in the vast minority about this, because everybody online freaking worships this movie, and like the Bill and Ted groups and everything, like everybody's just all about it. And if you don't like it, guess what? You get called names and called stupid and all this crap. And it's like, dude, I just freaking love stories and love Bill and Ted, and like, that doesn't make any sense, man. This is why I have a problem with it, okay? One, it wasn't ever about just a song, okay? Listen to what Rufus tells them in Excellent Adventure.
How can we ever thank you, Rufus?
Well, you can start by signing this for my kids.
Why?
They're big fans of yours.
What?
Everyone is. Wild Stallion's music has become the foundation of our whole society.
No way.
Yes way. In fact, I believe you were there. That futuristic place with the domes.
And the totally excellent music. They totally worshipped us there, Rufus.
I know. That's why I was sent to make sure you passed your history report. If you guys were separated, it would have been disastrous for life as we know it. You see, eventually, your music will help put an end to war and poverty. It will align the planets and bring them into universal harmony, allowing meaningful contact with all forms of life, from extraterrestrial beings to common household pets. And it's excellent for dancing.
Whoa.
Why don't you have the ladies sign as well, would you please? After all, they are in the band.
They are? Excellent.
So Rufus is talking to Bill and Ted, right? And so after he's done talking to them, he says, and have them sign too, because they're also in the band. But he's talking to Bill and Ted. And so it's Bill and Ted's music that is going to do all those things that he says they'll do. So with Face the Music, right? Like the way that it just puts so much emphasis on their daughters being the ones who write the song, and they were supposed to write the song the whole time, which is so stupid because they didn't exist until this movie, bro. And you've built a franchise on Bill and Ted living for this moment, all right? And so like everybody else, like they just accept it and go on with it and just enjoy the movie. And I understand that because it's very enjoyable. It's awesome. I love this movie so much, except for this one stupid thing that shouldn't even be a thing, man. And it just takes the emphasis off of Bill and Ted's importance and puts it on the daughters. And it's just like every other Hollywood movie that does that. That's not true. It's not just like every other Hollywood movie. Like all these movies like Star Wars making Luke and Anakin nothing. Bill and Ted aren't nothing. Bill and Ted are still the dudes that figure out how to get everyone in the world and across time to hear the song. It's still Bill and Ted that save everybody. And like the girls don't even like actually write a song. They're kind of just like directing the song. Like they tell the musicians, play this, you play this, you play this, and then they're like, you know, they're like a conductor, right? And so like when Bill and Ted and the princesses get back from handing out instruments all over to everyone, all over time, because they're like, how does everyone throughout time hear the song? And so they're like, they can hear the song if they're playing the song. And so they take instruments and hand them out to everybody throughout time, which as a musician, that's stupid. Because there's a whole bunch of people who are not musically inclined, and if you just hand them a saxophone, they're not going to know how to play it. If they aren't musically inclined, if they've never had any lessons, if they've never even touched the instrument, like they're not going to know how to play the song. So that's pretty dumb in my opinion. But I mean, I can look over that. I can suspend disbelief for that, you know, like anyway, so Bill and Ted are the ones that figure out that everyone needs to be playing the song, involved in the song, so that it can be heard throughout time, to repair time and reality and all this stuff. So Bill and Ted do figure that out. The girls don't actually write a song. They just, like I said, they direct the song. And then Bill and Ted come back, and when they come back, like they sort of stop the song almost. And then at the exact second that they're supposed to play, Bill and Ted start playing. And it's really awesome because you're seeing the thing that you've wanted to see forever, you know? And it's really cool, dude. And so, like, when you think of it in that, like, I still really hate that scene that I showed you, the big reveal that everyone sees coming, but most people have an easier time overlooking than me. This movie's so good. I think I'm just going to choose to, like, believe that Bill and Ted say that because they honestly think that it's them that do everything, but it's still Bill and Ted that when they start playing, like, light comes out of their guitars and stuff, and like stuff starts happening, and like the planets are aligning, and it's still because of Bill and Ted playing. And so how I justify it, I think in my head, is that they have been burdened with this task for so long, and now now that they think that it's the daughters that do it, that burden is like lifted from them, and it frees them to just be able to enjoy the music again. And when they are free of that burden and they can just play and have fun together and play, that music and that chemistry that they have does what Rufus said it would do 30 years ago. And that's where I'm at. I choose to like this movie because it's so good. And I know the work that went into it, and I know the stuff that Keanu and Alex Winter and all these people put into it to make the movie even happen, because the studios didn't want to make this movie. And I mean, it's, who knows how much money it's going to make, because it's mostly released on demand. And so, like, you know, I can't really say how successful the movie's going to be, but it has an overwhelmingly positive response, because it is an overwhelmingly positive movie. In 2020, that the year that has just been crap storm after crap storm for so many people, Bill and Ted Face the Music is like the bright part of the year. Like, people all over America have been like, this is the best thing that's happened in 2020. And they're pretty much right. Like, it is. Like, there's not a negative thing in it, even though they try to push this, you know, females are better than males thing that Hollywood's all big about. It's not the same. Like, it's not the same thing that they did to Luke and Anakin with Rey, where they just make Luke and Anakin pointless. Bill and Ted are still the dudes. It's still Bill and Ted. And so then they try to do the same thing, and it's almost like they try to do it to just appease, like to check off this box. Okay, you've got this in there, we'll make it. But like in all these other things, it just makes everybody else just look, you know, useless. And in this, Bill and Ted aren't useless, because without them, none of that would have happened. So, there's so much good in the movie that I gotta overlook that one stupid thing, and I gotta, in my head, I gotta believe that they just said that because they didn't know what to do, and, you know, their daughters are so cool with music, and it's like, we gotta, maybe it's you guys. And so, like, just because Bill and Ted said it doesn't mean that it's true. I also really hate how they talk about what Bill and Ted's doing as a prophecy, because it's not a prophecy. Rufus came from the future and told them what happened in history. And so it's not prophecy. It happened. So it might be prophecy to Bill and Ted, but it's not a prophecy. Like, it happened. And so the time travel and how time works in Bill and Ted's, really, you got to be loosey-goosey with it, because it's not an actual science in that franchise. But the movie is so good, except for that one scene. And at the very end, they say it didn't matter who wrote the song, it was everyone playing it together that mattered. And I also think that's stupid. Because everyone can't play an instrument, man. That's dumb. That's dumb. But it's so good that I'm willing to overlook this thing and justify it in my mind so that I can enjoy it, because it's so good. So that's my review of it. It's got some stuff you gotta overlook, but it's a good, fun movie, and it's got a lot of heart. So if you weren't going to watch it because of things you've heard, I suggest you still watch it, because it's worth it. So that's my scattered review of Bill and Ted Face the Music. Is it everything I wanted it to be? No. But it is awesome. And I'm glad that we got to see it. I'm glad it finally got made. So, as always, be excellent to each other and take it easy.